IVM.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Football Shootball. This is episode 12. 12 बज गए. I'm an Arsenal supporter if you already don't know that. क्या बोले तो बोले क्या, करे तो करे क्या. To help me find the answers to that are my close friends but guests, not co-hosts, Gaurav Sapre and Karthik Iyer. Say hello.
Hello, and hello, Siva. We are here to share your grief.
You are my support group. I think just you. Karthik supports Fulham. Karthik, say hi.
Hi, Siva.
How are you? How are you guys doing? Let's for one day, let's not talk about football. How about that? Let's talk about other sports where Indians are winning. Jehan Daruvala, congratulations to him on winning, I think, the first podium ever for an Indian in F2. Raising our hopes for a podium in F1 maybe in a couple of years. What do you think, Karthik?
You need a driver in F1 first. Let's get there first. Like baby steps, Shivram.
I said Jehan Daruvala will go there in 2 years. No? That's what I said.
Nah, he's not going there next year, so it'll be tough. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. But okay, if you don't want to talk about football, I have one thing to say though before we get into Amit's messages about Formula One. Yeah, the sport at least you and I really enjoy, and I know a lot of people complain that it's not like how it used to be, etc., etc., etc. If you've seen this season, the only obvious thing was Hamilton winning. The rest was, I mean, this weekend in itself. Sergio Perez after 190 Grand Prix winning a race. Carlos Sainz, did he win earlier in the season? He did, right?
He did. Yeah.
Yeah. He won
on the podium at least.
Yeah, he did. He won a race. And then there's George Russell struggling for a point, coming into a Mercedes, finally getting his first points in F1. There is Mick Schumacher winning Formula 2. There is Hamilton breaking and equaling almost every record that we have seen during the course of the season. I mean, it is still, on a race-by-race basis, it is outstanding. It is just that you have one tremendous racer and one tremendous car out there that doesn't make it a competition that we would love to see.
Awesome. On that note, I have actually a lot of analogies from that for football, but we'll give you a little moment to take a breather, listen to Amit, and we hope you come right back. This is Football Shootball, episode 12.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's been an absolutely incredible week on the network. We had so many great guests, so many great episodes. Advertising is dead. We had Faye D'Souza on. Varun took a break for 4 weeks, but what a bang he's back with. Siddharth Deshmukh celebrates the 100th episode of The Traveling Professor. It is an amazing show which I cannot say enough good things about. Please do listen to it. And a different Siddharth on the network, Siddharth Bhatia. He's just been absolutely guest after guest, right? This week, Zoya Akhtar talking about Gully Boy. I couldn't imagine a more interesting conversation. Ragini Kumar is on 2 different episodes this week. She is on Cyrus Says and she is on Edges and Sledges, both in anticipation of her new show, Zindagi Diaries. Do check out her appearance on both of those shows and her new show as well. Tanvi and Shloko, the Millennial Athlete, had a phenomenal episode with Dinesh Karthik and Abhishek Nair. Absolutely riveting stuff, talking about mentorship in many different ways. Definitely do give that a listen. And finally, I have a request to all of you. We have our listener survey going out this week. Every year we send out a listener survey at the end of the year. We're doing it again this year. And we would really appreciate your help in letting us know a little bit more about yourself. Our advertisers are really keen to find out who is listening to us and more about them. Anything that you could do is kept anonymously, and we would really appreciate your help in this. And to sweeten the pot just a little bit, we'll be giving a randomly selected group of participants in the survey some IBM swag. Last year we gave out coffee mugs. What we're going to give out this year is still a surprise. So please do help us out. Would really appreciate that. And with that, let me get you back to your show.
Welcome back, guys. So we left off with some insights on F1 and a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend. Amazing stuff. If you haven't followed it, I urge you to go back, check out highlights, whatever. Let's draw some analogies. And let's start with Arsenal so I can get it off. I can get rid of it right away. Arteta doesn't seem like the manager he was promised to be. And considering he came from the stables of Pep, right? He hasn't really done anything before that. He was the assistant manager to Pep. I think it was in 2016 or something when he was appointed assistant manager. And then he was there for 3 years. And of course, City being City. My analogy is drawing it with Mercedes. Now, we realized over the weekend that a George Russell who races for Williams hasn't gotten a point, or maybe has gotten 1 point. He comes into the Mercedes car and is able to, at least for a majority of the race, stay up top. Right? And then eventually, things don't go his way. The Mercedes pit crew screws up. And then, of course, he ends up getting, I think, 8th place or 9th place. Is Arteta from the same place. Like, because he was at City, we just assume that he's a good manager or has the capability. But the fact is, he was driving a Mercedes.
Can I go first, Sapre? Because I want to correct myself at first. It wasn't Sainz. It was Pierre Gasly who won a race early in the season. You were right, Shivram. He, of course, was demoted. Secondly, about Arteta, it is nice, but there is something that I believe in personally, because whatever he's learned from Guardiola, he may be a decent manager, but not once in his career has Guardiola been at a club or at a position where Arteta is that now. So how is Guardiola supposed to teach him any of this? Guardiola's never faced what Arteta has to face right now. He never has. He's always managed the best players and the best clubs. So I don't think he could have learned this from Pep Guardiola.
Got it. So you're saying there's been no tough times ever for Pep. I mean, he went from Barcelona to Bayern Munich to City. Sapre, what do you think? He's still on mute, the idiot.
I had to go on mute. Because I went on mute because I have nothing to contribute to two topics that I don't understand. One is F1, the other is Arsenal's performance, right? So unless the next time the analogy is about hearts or solitaire or spades, right, then probably I'll have much more to contribute. But we did talk about it. He was Pep's cone picker at City. So I don't know. You were only so happy. Ex-player coming back, and then your ex-players saying had he been at United would be challenging for the league. I mean, these are delusions. Arteta he's found out very, very easily, sooner than Arsenal fans would have hoped for.
Fair enough. There are murmurings though that if Ljungberg would have stayed, he would have been a little more tough on the players, because the players are pretty bad. I mean, there's no denying that. El Neni suddenly is back, and he did play a much better game, the couple of games he played before he went out to injury. But the rest of them are not even picking up on their own slack. And people like AMN and Nelson, who are actually doing well, and you saw them do well in midweek against, I think, Rapid Vienna, was it? Maybe they should get a chance now. I mean, on Ozil for that matter. Do you think Ljungberg would have dealt with it better?
So, you know what, Shivram? Should we start saying, instead of picking up on their own slack, do we have to start saying picking up on their own Salesforce now? Is that...
Nice. Yeah. Very, very culturally aware, pop, current.
West Coast joke.
Very nice. I really love it. This will take our podcast to the next level on Tech Twitter. So well done. I think our editor can cut this out separately and put it as a joke. Talking about jokes, I mean, enough about Arsenal, yeah? You guys didn't answer me on Ljungberg.
So yeah, I'll go with Ljungberg, because you remember when Ljungberg was there, he was upset. I mean, he was, I think, low-key pretty upset that he was not being given the full-time position. I think he managed about 5 games as interim manager. And they brought in Arteta, who is, Sapre is harsh when he calls him a cone picker at City. But I think Ljungberg felt that if Arteta is getting a chance, I would probably deserve a chance as well, right? Because Arteta's own main qualification is assisting Pep Guardiola and learning a lot under him. But here's the thing. Arsenal are playing exactly... Remember Arteta as the player? He was perfectly serviceable. He was there. He was midfield engine. He used to run back and forth. But there is absolutely nothing spectacular about him. Absolutely nothing. So that is exactly how Arsenal are. How many crosses did they put in, Sapre, in this match? Some 39 or something. To whom?
Good point.
To Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean, it's silly. Yeah, it's just silly, and it's 15th in the table. And I think, I really can't see where.
Do you think we should stop talking about Arsenal completely? I would really appreciate that.
Yes. Now you're talking. Now we'll begin the podcast.
Cool. So if you're just tuning in, we have now completed talking about Arsenal. We will not talk about them ever again, because FPL में तो वैसे भी लेना नहीं, फायदा ही नहीं है. The first game this weekend was actually postponed. Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Thank God. I would have lost a lot of points because Sapre has Grealish. Everton drew with Burnley. Guess who scored? Just guess.
DCL.
Well done, Karthik. Even though you haven't watched the game, you now know who's, I think, top scorer in the league.
He is. You know, when Everton has scored, you know who scored the goal. So I think he's scored in every but 2 matches this season, which is a brilliant record. And I was actually hoping that with Richarlison's second game after his suspension, and probably James has gone through his plateau of poor performances, probably they'll do something well in this match. But who cares about Everton as long as DCL scores and gives us points, right?
That is a good assimilation. I think that's very well put briefly. Let's move on to City. They could have dispatched Fulham for 5, 6, 7. KDB hit the post, I think, a couple of times. They were really unlucky. But Fulham, I think, the last thing the comms said before they cut out to the next game was that Fulham actually escaped a hiding, and Scott Parker was lucky that it wasn't triple than what it was. Karthik, thoughts?
No, fair enough. I mean, we could have lost, triple 6-0 for sure. But it's fine. I mean, you're coming
6-0.
Matlab,
18 goals.
Triple of 2 is 6, I'm guessing, right? It's so nice to come away with a 2-0 defeat to City. Just feels good, especially because both the goals went in pretty early, like 30-35 minutes in, and then you're worried for the next hour. But I mean, it's fine. These are not this game. The game against Leicester, we got 3 points, which was completely unexpected. So this game and the one against Fulham and the one against Liverpool is fine. The ones against Brighton, West Brom, those are the ones that matter. So I'm not fussed at all. We're still outside the relegation zone, so woohoo.
Yeah.
So you're saying back-to-back unexpected games. So win against Leicester and only 2 goals considered against City.
Yeah, so pretty much.
That's Fulham doing pretty well, yeah, for themselves.
I'll tell you, Sapre, when this counts is when the final 3 weeks, the relegation battle happens and they realize that West Brom got dispatched for 6 goals.
Yeah.
And then they're all at 5 points each. Then it'll become cutthroat, I think.
So you know what it is, right? Currently, Fulham are on course to survive the season with a grand total of 17 points if it goes at this rate. and every time we watch the Premier League, we hear this magical 14-point mark, right, to survive. Fulham are on course to survive with 17 points.
Do we hear that 40-point legend in Kendra Vidyalaya also? It's not new. Passing marks kehte isko. Sapre, United's performances in the first half, let it be that Arsenal, the Arsenal elite and United are, I think you can't differentiate between them. But United, second half, if the entire league was just second half, I think United will win it twice over.
Yeah, no. Otherwise, also on all those stats about since the lockdown has ended and whatever has happened, United have, if not scored more, I think they're the second team in that list. I think ahead of Liverpool, I guess. So they're doing well. I don't think the performance is still up to the mark. The reality will hit us hard after the game in the Champions League when we play Leipzig. That is the actual reality check for us. Then we'll see. And then to ensure that we win, one half is very difficult against Leipzig right now. So let's see. But I think United
you're being
can be happy with the fact that we're getting 3 points, which is something that's the only thing we wish for, honestly.
No, fair enough. But what I think you're missing is the fact that for everyone who doesn't know, we're recording this on a Tuesday night. We watched the Brighton versus Southampton game last night. Excellent game. I think Ings is back, so will change fortunes in FPL. But Leipzig play United tomorrow night. Or is it tonight? It's tonight. Oh, tonight. Wow. Action-packed. I'll sure to be watching them later after I watch Barcelona play Juve.
We are competing with eyeballs with Barca versus Juve. That's the league we are playing in.
But my question to you is, you can't afford to lose. Except you can draw.
There are too many permutation combinations.
No, it's very simple. It's very simple for United. They draw, they're through. Because they beat Leipzig on the reverse leg final. So it's head-to-head. So, yeah.
But, it's difficult to even gauge whether United are going to draw. So
what's the second half, Sapre?
Yeah, so we also, half of our attention is going to be on the fact that United should at least draw. And then the remaining half will be praying that PSG don't win. So at least, हमने नहीं किया तो वो भी नहीं होना चाहिए.
I think PSG will dispatch Istanbul easily.
But as long as we draw, I don't care.
I think next year when Ozil goes to Istanbul, Beshak Shahir, then there'll be a force to reckon with. But this year, I think.
But there's one thing, Shivram. I think you were trying to say before being sidetracked by this fellow, being very negative about United. I mean, United win their game in hand, they go up level with Chelsea. Who would have thought that in third? Yeah, that's so awesome. I think you were trying to say that they're not doing as badly as Sapre makes it sound. And you're right in that regard. That at least maybe the performances are not great, but the results are coming. They're conceding goals in the first half, but they're at least able to come back. So there is something. These times you have to clutch at any straw that you can get.
Yeah, I know that better than most people.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karthik, for summarizing my point that I made earlier.
Nice.
We're just happy that we're getting points.
Yeah.
It took us 2 seasons to come on the same page.
Which is, this is still not the end of the second page. We'll find out if this cast continues. Chelsea dispatched Leeds at home. Chelsea are becoming a force to reckon with, irrespective of the fact that they don't have a single goal scorer who's delivered the majority of the goals. I think they've had 13 different goal scorers. I could be absolutely wrong, but...
You are right about that stat.
Right. Frank Roulet
Frank Roulette. This doesn't roll off the tongue like Pep Roulette does.
It's not, but what to do? English names are such. Yeah, but you don't know. I think with Havertz now, I don't know. I think Lampard came out and said he was hit bad by COVID. So once he comes, unless we believe in what Karthik says about Havertz, that he drifts in and out of games and probably.
What did he do over the weekend? Nothing he did. What are you talking about?
Yes, sir, but that's what you. It's not about believing. Havertz is an extremely skillful player, but he's at an age where he needs to be under a coach, like someone who can properly coach him, like a Hasenhüttl. I do not know if maybe see the thing is in these clubs Lampard has 3-4 people under him. I hope those guys are able to coach Havertz because obviously Lampard's not going to have the time for every Tom, Dick and Werner in that squad. So I mean Havertz is a fine player. He's not as great. He's not the 100 million type of player that every single young either German or English star gets praised. But yeah, I mean he should be okay. If in a couple of years he doesn't do well, he's going to be shipped off to another big club.
That they'll basically, flip him and sell him for more money.
Yeah, you never know, right? Because he's a certain starter for... Correct. You could be right there. I think they expected more from Werner though. And while Werner is playing some really, really good matches, he's going to be judged on the number of goals he scores, unfortunately. And anyone who, say even FPL, for example...
Winger,
yeah, right. So when you buy him... I would assume that even though he's playing on the wing, you expect goals to come because he scored 20 plus last season and he's been doing it for a while. And he's missing these chances, Shivram. That is where...
Don't even start,
it's not like he's not getting chances. My God, some of those chances, it's...
I think as a striker, I can tell you one thing for a fact, that only confidence builds confidence. You need that first couple of goals to go in before you can start, scoring those scorpion kicks. So, but talking about scorpion kicks, Giroud came back and scored. I mean, can he just stop?
Why? Why do you want to stop?
Because I think he just continues his form.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's the best looking footballer in England, at least.
I can't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Especially because he's French.
Goalkeepers get charmed, you're saying, looking at him come walk towards him with the ball or run towards him with the ball.
He's always been a very good striker. We used to mock him saying he won the World Cup without scoring a goal, but he was damn important to that side. He's going to be good. I mean, there's really not... I know a lot of people say that Giroud is underappreciated. I don't think he is. I think he's limited. But he's brilliant at what he does. Whenever he's on the field, you don't get less than... Even for Arsenal, you don't get less than, what you expect.
I don't know if you remember, but what he used to play as a fantastic role even for Arsenal is that when Arsenal get desperate and they start playing United ball of hoofing it up the field, he would track it, stop it, and then hold the ball till help arrived. And he does a fantastic job of that, of making sure the game, you can turn the wave whenever he's up the field or making those runs. You're right, he's possibly not the fastest, but he does have that jump. So very limited, but you're right, he delivers in places where he's, he at least he believes he's good. Vardy, another player who's limited by his team around him, won them the game, the 3 points, I think, with what would be described as the last kick, except the last kick was on the corner flag. Sapre, what do you think?
I don't know about Vardy. He's very reliable that way. I mean, he'll miss chances, but he'll also get you these kind of goals which will win you games. And he brings in the right. I know what you're saying, that Leicester team, the way they started, and I think at least the two of us had a lot of hope from Barnes, who's not showing the same kind of game that he was showing earlier. But they're okay. They're still in the top 4. I think Vardy will still finish somewhere close to at least over 15 goals, if not 20, which is decent for a guy like Vardy. I mean, and if they can buy a couple of decent players in January, then Leicester can actually still challenge for top 4. They did challenge for top 4 last season. They lost to a better team, as in, at the end, they lost to the you have many matches to go, right? I can learn from your mistakes from last year. So Vardy is good. Vardy is going to be helpful as a player for Leicester, as an FPL asset, as a general, lover of this game of football. The way he makes his runs, I think it's very exciting to see Vardy doing what he does game in, game out every time he's fit. So he's a treat to watch.
Any thoughts on Vardy? Because he's almost 33, 34 now.
So again, he ran past 2 defenders. Is this guy becoming faster with age? Like, doesn't it seem like he's actually, usually it should work in reverse. Either the defenders are becoming slower, Maguire, or he's just becoming faster with age. I am amazed by Jamie Vardy. Absolutely amazed by this guy.
Yeah, as someone who has run in the past, I look up to him. I think I aspire to run like that at some point in time in my life. So enough of this mid-table. Let's close this segment with a description of the potential title winners. There are, I think, we spoke about City, but they're a little off the pace. At this moment of time, there are 2 that everyone can clearly see. There's the Liverpool, which is the reigning champion, and there are the challengers. I never thought I'd say that line. Tottenham Hotspur.
It hurts, no, Shivram?
I mean, it stopped hurting a long time back, man. I've been supporting Arsenal for 20 years now.
Yeah, fair enough. I just think, I know we laughed about it the last time I said, is Kane and Son the partnership as good as maybe a Perez and an Henry or a couple of, a Nistelrooy and Beckham, who used to put in crosses. But these 2 are outstanding. You just get joy watching them. Except when Kane does his nonsensical brushing into...
Yeah, what is that? That is so... But I like that. From a striker's perspective, I think he's really smart because half the time he ends up winning the foul.
I'll tell you what, to me, that's a red card challenge. Because he's literally tackling a guy who's in the air. The guy can fall on his head, on his neck. The guy can't protect himself then. I think that's worse than even putting studs up, what Kane does. And Kane... 6'4", and he's just going. When a guy's in the air, he's just removing his center of gravity, if that's even the right way of saying it.
That is exactly the right way of saying it. Sapre, what do you think?
I think it's part of a larger plan. You allow Spurs to get away with these things right now, and when the league is coming to in its last leg, then you start giving fouls and red cards for all of these challenges. Just piss the out of Mourinho. So I hope that's how the FA are thinking about it. If not, then they should consider this suggestion and do whatever they can to not allow Spurs anywhere close to the top 2.
Do you think does this plan include Arsenal beating them in the reverse fixture?
When we spoke before the game, I thought you will at least score 1 goal. You'll find the courage to score 1 goal from somewhere, which is also something you couldn't do. Plus, Mourinho's side against an Arsenal scored 2 goals. I mean, nothing is going to happen in the reverse fixture. I've lost all my hope, even of a draw from Arsenal now.
Okay, so when ashes happen, I think the phoenix rises. So in 20 years from now, Sapre, we will talk about that Arteta should go because he is not going anywhere. Anyway, Liverpool, final thoughts. Karthik, bring it home.
I'm very, very happy with the way Liverpool are playing. I don't like Jurgen Klopp's complaining. But I just think that those front 4, in whatever way they play those 4, whether one of them is on the bench, which is Jota, Firmino, Mane and Salah, are just a joy to watch. And I think Sapre said it best earlier in one of our previous episodes that we were sleeping on Jota for particularly the FPL because that concerns all of us. But I think as viewers of Liverpool also, we were sleeping on Jota when he signed for the club.
Fair enough. I think Liverpool only brought him into action because they had the injury crisis. Sapre?
No, he can give a run for the front 3 run for their money. It just made Salah so much better in the game yesterday. And it was a good game. I think that first goal was a bit of a fortune for Liverpool with that mistake at the back. I think it was Cody who did that. Cody. Yeah. One of the 12. So, but the fact that the way Salah plays and he's going to be right around you and you can't afford to commit mistakes. That goes by. I think Wolves got found out again. We're not expecting Wolves to lose by that kind of a margin. They don't have Jimenez and we understand that scoring goals could be a problem, but Wolves conceding 4 is not something that you see every day. But overall, good, I think, performance from Liverpool. I'm happy Trent Alexander-Arnold is back. It's always good to see him running down that channel at his crosses and free kicks, etc. The amount of contribution he has in the game. So Liverpool are going from strength to strength, and I think that's just how they're going to continue. I think I'm just waiting for Thiago to now come back from injury, get a good run of games, hopefully in the later stages of the Champions League when they'll actually require good players in that midfield to control games. I think I'm waiting to see what Thiago can bring in.
Fantastic. Okay, hold that thought because there's a lot of FPL conundrum in there because you mentioned Trent, you mentioned Jota, you mentioned Salah. They're all playing Fulham next week. So hold on to that thought. We also have the resident Fulham expert on the call exclusively. And I can guarantee it on no other podcast, at least in India, there is a Fulham expert. But we are lucky to have him on our podcast. Thank you, Karthik, for joining us week after week. Let's take a quick break while our Fulham experts, expert goes, sorry, did I say experts? There's only one of them in the entire world. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with FPL action. Stay tuned.
Whether you're an established sports person or a budding one, or simply a sports enthusiast, join us, Tanvi and Shlok.
We are two passionate pro badminton players talking policy, mindset and everything sport.
So tune in to the Millennial Athlete every Monday.
Only on the IVM Podcast Network.
Trust us, it's gonna be lit.
Welcome back, guys. It's exciting. It is FPL. There should be one more thing. It should be in threes. It is amazing. It is exciting. It is
exhilarating.
Exhilarating. Okay, let's go with exhilarating. You're still listening to Football Shootball episode 12. 12 बज गए हैं FPL में भी कार्तिक के. Sapre and I are doing incredibly well. I mean, but that's relative. We're closer to the bottom than the top, but we're doing relatively better than some people. Fulham is playing Liverpool next week. Who do you think we should triple up? And let me start with Sapre, who does play FPL. I've seen Karthik's Chilwell captain for third week this time, so I'm not going to go to him just yet. Sapre, tell me, Fulham at home, does that give them an advantage?
Well, I would want to say yes, but the expert is here, I can't really lie on his face. The only thing I will leave this conversation with is triple cap Salah.
So basically put all your eggs in the Fulham basket.
Yeah, because Jota may or may not play, but even if he plays, I'm sure he's not going to take Salah's place, especially after the performance in the previous match. And Fulham can leak goals from anywhere. So you can triple cap actually any of the Liverpool players. It shouldn't really matter.
Karthik, so triple cap Wijnaldum? Karthik has left the call.
No, sorry. I was on mute because I was trying to check like the number of goals conceded and stuff like that. And Fulham have conceded. No, but the same number as Leeds. I think you're being a bit unfair. It's 21 conceded by Leeds and 20 conceded by Fulham. So I think you're not giving Tosin Adarabioyo and Joachim Anderson credit.
Leeds, dude? How many did Liverpool score against Leeds? Since you're using that as a comparison metric.
Well, what was that one? I don't know. I don't remember that match. 4-3, right? 4-3.
Yeah, 4-3. They lost it. There's going to be 3-3 because Rodrigo the striker.
My point is, why would you just say every Fulham match say triple captain? It didn't. Anyone who listened to the two of y'all for your Vardy triple captain pick, I hope they're abusing you on Twitter now. Both of y'all. Go check your unread messages. It'll be there. There'll be abusers saying you told us Vardy will score, he didn't score. But having said that, Salah versus Fulham, even I would probably triple captain.
I'm waiting for you to say.
But I'm thinking this is maybe not the best time because I think Fulham are slightly, even City couldn't score more than 2. So Fulham are slightly tighter at the back. I think a team like a Burnley who just, when they concede one, or West Brom actually, they lost 5-1 to Crystal Palace, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Benteke is scoring goals, man. So I think
he scored for the second time in 2 years. That is amazing.
So look at West Brom. See the friendlier fixtures there, maybe to use your triple captain rather than Fulham at home.
So you're saying Fulham don't playing this so I get it. So Fulham don't panic even if they concede 2-3 because they've done that. I mean, they've been through this many times before. And I agree with Karthik. They managed to keep City at bay with only 2 goals. But imagine keeping that performance up for 180 minutes. I don't think that's Fulham's cup of tea.
Insane. Well, all those cutting edge stats about Fulham coming in only on Football Shootball, so you know where to go the next time you want to triple captain a player. A couple of other fun games. United play City, the Manchester derby. United at home. What do you think? Anyone worth taking from United other than Bruno Fernandes? Maybe Rashford?
Not sure. He's still nursing an injury. He's going to play a lot of the match against Leipzig. We'll see how it goes. But keep Bruno. Rashford's not going to give you a hat trick anyways. Plus, Bruno's not going to allow him to take penalties either.
Correct.
So Bruno, there is confirmed points. Rashford then may or not.
Oh, you're saying so it's going to be a high-scoring game. City and United.
No, even if it's a 1-1 game, it's still... If United score, it is going to be either an assist from Bruno or the goal scored by him. So it makes sense to keep Bruno. But Sterling's... Don't take Sterling because...
Why don't take Sterling? He just hit form.
He can. He was in form the last time they played United and he couldn't get past Van der Sar. Actually, he can. He actually plays well against United. He doesn't have as many goals to match his performances. But I think he still plays better when Aguero's down the middle, which we don't know whether he's...
I think Aguero's going to start midweek and then start against United.
Then Sterling will do better. If he starts, then Sterling will do very well, for sure.
So let's agree that United is going to lose.
No, I'm not saying that. It depends on the second half.
Okay. Karthik, prediction for United City?
Yeah, I was thinking City have been very, very lucky. After that down versus Tottenham, they lost 2-0. After that, they've had Burnley and Fulham as their two next fixtures. What a better way to get into form. Yeah, it can't get easier than those two. They beat them 5-0 and then 2-0. Usually, I would say that this is the kind of game City will get stuck against United. Like I think we saw it last season in both fixtures. But I think this time United are above City in the league. They're at least a point above, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So City, I think, will go in there with better form on their side, and I think a sense of purpose that, okay, people have been writing us off because 2 weeks ago they were 13th. But because the table is so bunched up, I think this is City's time to go and hit 3 past United.
Nice. Okay, I love more goals, which is why I enjoyed Crystal Palace, the Crystal Palace game over the weekend. Okay, I just need one name, right? I don't need any more opinions. Just one name. Everton play Chelsea. We have Chelsea and Everton players. A lot of our people who play the Football Shootball Fantasy League also have both sides. If you could take only one player from either side, which one would it be and why? Sapre, go first.
Well, if I were to choose only one, then I would go with a Chelsea attacker, either in Werner or Pulisic, because Ziyech is injured. I don't know if he's back, but Pulisic played a lot of that game, and it's the kind of game that will help him hit form. Yeah. So if I were to only pick one, and if I have no Chelsea, I would probably go with Pulisic.
Okay.
I'm going to completely be the opposite because considering this Chelsea theme, people are sleeping on the Chelsea defense simply because you assume that they're conceding goals, but they haven't been for a long time. They have not been. They've been extremely defensively sound. So either Edouard Mendy, their goalkeeper, who I don't think a lot of people have, or Kurt Zouma, who scores goals as well.
Yeah, he scored 4 goals already this season, and he's exceeded the number of points he got all of last season. Wow. Number 2 in that list is Vestergaard, who people have honestly been sleeping on because he scored 3 already, and Southampton tend to, a lot of people have McCarthy. And the point of having McCarthy is that he's a keeper, so he's expected to have clean sheets. So maybe if you double up on Southampton, there is a chance Southampton plays Sheffield United. I'm surprised neither of you said DCL because Chelsea's defense is sound, but Everton have been leaking goals. So Pulisic does. I'm kind of like Sapre at the start of the podcast, where Sapre said Everton is just there for FPL, right? and I don't even play FPL that seriously. So basically, Everton just comes and goes every weekend, and I don't even know what happens. They're like once in like 6 months. Everton are here in the table. Okay, so they're like that kind of club for me. Like even though Don Carlo is there, I mean, respect.
Yeah. But yeah, Everton is not in my immediate consciousness at all over a football weekend. Sorry, Everton fans.
I mean, they're devastated. Arsenal play Burnley. This is the last game I want to talk about because Crystal Palace also play Tottenham. So I would recommend not take Zaha just yet. I know he's hit form. He's come back after COVID. He's been consistently delivering, but I think maybe just hold off until Tottenham.
Sorry. Sheffield versus Arsenal, right?
Sheffield versus Arsenal?
Who's playing? Arsenal is playing whom?
Burnley. This is our chance to come back to form.
Okay. I thought they're playing Sheffield. So
my God, but Shivram, if it doesn't happen the next weekend, oh man.
I was saying
it will happen. It will happen. 1 point is more than 0 points. It will happen.
Correct. Now I'm telling you, this is Arsenal's comeback trail. Arsenal will dispatch Burnley by a smothering of 1 goal. So I think now is a good time to take Aubameyang because Arsenal have a slew of good fixtures. They start with Burnley, then they play Southampton and Everton, who have a leaky defense. So 3 good games in hand. After that, play City and Chelsea. Let's not talk about that. But before that, they have 3 good games. So maybe Aubameyang might just hit back. And Martinelli is back tonight. He's playing for the under-21, so he'll come back. Martinelli was the most exciting player I've ever seen come out of the Arsenal Academy. I think, not the Arsenal Academy, sorry, the bottom from Brazil. But I think he's one of the good youngsters who's been dependable. He dispatched one against United also, right? If I'm not wrong. He took one from the halfway line.
So Shivram trying to end an Arsenal segment. Yeah, he's trying to end it, Sapre. If you notice, on a positive note, he has as much hope in Arsenal as the guy who put Ozil in Fantasy Premier League does in Ozil.
Yeah. Look,
literally, Ozil is listed in that 6.8 million. Like, my God.
This is just like some facade that everybody is seen now. Siva will trash Arsenal, but secretly he'll be praying and doing everything he can and being the eternal optimist that he is. Thanks to Arsenal, he's become an optimist in life. He'll continue to support. He'll continue to hope for that one goal from Aubameyang, and from Aubameyang, not from anybody else. So that's how optimist he is. And
the one thing I've learned in life recently is I want to see the good in people. So which is why I would like to talk to you guys more, because I still need a little more time to find that good. But let's talk about something a little more fun, the Shootball Fantasy League. We have a shitload of players. Karthik bringing up the rear end, so we know how many people are actually in the Football League. Go to fantasy.premierleague.com, type in H3OMYA, that's H3OMYA, put that in the field. You can join the Fantasy League for Shootball. Let me read out the top 5, and it is insane how consistent this guy is. Ankit Kini, number 1, his team is called Drizzy. I still don't know what that means. Number 2 is Karthik's favorite team, Bharatiya Janata Party by Karan Babla. Number 3 is Girisman, Ameya Giri. I don't know if he's related to Anish Giri, who's actually a chess grandmaster. So if you don't know him, go follow him on Twitter. Anish Giri. Ameya Giri, sure, if you like him. Nerd. Okay, cool. So passing on, the third...
Nice sound effect you've got.
The 4th person in the league is Apurva Tiwari on 83 points this week. Arsenic Beryllium Carb, ABC, I think he wants to spell, unless I'm missing some reference. Number 5 is Who's Your Cap, Akshay Tejwani, 80 points. Quick shout out to Shlok Chaturvedi, who everyone who's, loyal listeners of the podcast will remember him as our amazing producer, friend of the podcast now, from last year. He scored a grand total of 95 points in this game week. He outscored Sapre and me by at least 20 points. And the fact that he also had at least 2 Aston Villa players who didn't have a game, and he just benched them. And he still managed to score a 95. He has unfortunately fallen in the run. He's 33 now. I have actually gotten better. I'm in just double digits, 97. Sapre, where are you?
Before I tell you where I am, it just goes on to show that if you spend one season with us, you will become a master tactician. And FPL is where you will be able to prove your worth. Same producer Shlok used to hang out with Karthik last season. In the position on the table, but one season we haven't been able to get the change from Iyer yet. But I think with Shlok we'll put Shlok's photo on the hoarding out there.
वो bright tutorials का होता ना, number 1 all India seat. ये देखो.
Oh, the kharcha.
Karthik, any parting words on FPL?
Don't come to me for FPL. Yeah. It's just.
That is the golden mantra we have followed for a long time now. We will continue to follow it. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. This was the 12th episode of Shootball. A lot of exciting football tonight, the UCL games. So unfortunately, by the time you listen to this, the UCL games will already be over. The group stages would have culminated. You would now possibly on Friday I'm guessing Friday is the draw, right?
No, so the draw is next Monday, so it'll be perfect to cover it in our next episode. So do catch us for that. We'll do a bit about the Champions League and the draw that follows.
Yes. And what is really exciting is the next, I think, 3 weeks is chock-a-block with football games. You'll hear from us a lot more. City, I think, play a game every 3 days. That's how chock-a-block it is. I can't wait to see Pep's face when everyone pulls a hamstring on the City team and he needs to get Arteta back to play. It's going to be spectacular. 2020, at the start of this year, we didn't know if there would be a vaccine. Now we're choosing which vaccine we prefer. I think there is a light at the end of this tunnel, and that ends with New Year's Day with Arsenal, at least climbing out of the bottom half. But enough of that.
I mean, you're in the bottom 1/4 now. So I think first reach the middle of the bottom half and then go outside the bottom half.
एक चौथाई होगा तू, ठीक है? On that note, we'll see you next week. So if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Fickleberry Hun on Twitter and Instagram. That's Huckleberry Finn, but Fickle.
If you want to reach out to me, I am Sapre on Twitter and Sapre on Instagram.
You can reach out to me at iRant, which is IYERANT on Twitter and Instagram. This is Football Shootball. Recognize.
Are you looking for India's most awesome cricket podcast? Are you now tired of listening to the same old guys drone on about cricket everywhere? Edges and Sledges is a weekly cricket podcast hosted by 3 fans of the game, Varun, DJ, and myself, Ashwin. It was established in early 2018, has over 60 episodes now, and is of course now proud to be on the IVM Podcast Network. Each week, we get together from 3 different time zones, the USA, the UK, and Singapore, and we talk about things from the world of cricket, with a focus on Indian cricket. We often interview special guests from all around the world, including former cricketers and cricket media personalities. So check out Edges and Sledges, the cricket podcast, now on the IVM network.
What are some of the radical changes that are now shaping our workspace? With physical distancing and heightened safety protocols being the norm, will technology finally make its large-scale entry to the workspace? Will design as we know it change for the long term? Is it possible for the Indian commercial real estate space to adopt a 360-degree approach to sustainability? Join our hosts at the Future of Space podcast by RMZ as we deliberate with industry leaders, analysts, and bright young minds on the way forward for the workspace given the new COVID normal. Tune in to the IVM Podcasts app or wherever you stream your favorite podcasts